Two YouTube channels get almost the same number of views, but one of them makes 5 times more money. Not slightly more, not double, but 5 times. And here is the part that doesn't make sense at first. It has nothing to do with editing, nothing to do with AI tools, not even content quality. So, what is actually going on? Because if you open both channels side by side, you would immediately see anything special. Same type of thumbnails, same kind of topics, same posting frequency. If anything, they look almost identical. And that is exactly why most creators miss this. They are looking at what is visible. But the real difference is happening underneath, where most people never pay attention. Let me slow this down for a second, because this is where everything starts to shift. When you upload a video, you think you are competing based on how good your content is. But that is not how YouTube works. YouTube doesn't judge efforts. It doesn't reward how long you spent editing. It reacts to how people behave, and behavior is influenced long before your video is even watched. This is where most creators lose without realizing it, because they focus on how do I make better videos instead of asking what kind of reaction does my video create. That is a completely different game, right? Let me say something that might sound uncomfortable. Two videos can be two videos can be equally good, but attract completely different types of viewers. And those viewers behave differently, which means the outcome becomes completely different. Not because of the video itself, but because of who it attracts. Now, here is where it gets interesting. One of these channels is quietly building something valuable. The other is just collecting views. And from the outside, they look the same. But underneath, they are operating on completely different levels. And if you don't understand this, you will keep chasing views without realizing you are chasing the wrong kind. Stay with me, because once you see the difference, you will never look at YouTube the same way again. Let's clear up one of the biggest misunderstandings on YouTube. Most creators believe more views, more success. It sounds logical, but it is incomplete, because not all views carry the same weight. Let me explain. You can get 10,000 views from one audience and earn almost nothing. Then get another 10,000 views from a different audience, and suddenly everything changes. Same number, different outcome. So, what is actually changing? It is not the video, it is the viewer. Wait, this is where most people get it wrong. They think views are just numbers, but views are actually behavior signals. Every person who clicks your video comes with a different mindset. Some are just passing time, others are looking for something specific. And those two types of viewers behave completely differently. The casual viewer clicks quickly, watches briefly, then leaves without thinking much. While the intentional viewer pays attention, stays longer, and watches more content in that space. Now, here is the part nobody explains properly. YouTube tracks this behavior, not just clicks, not just views, but behavior. And based on that, it decides how far your video should go. But it doesn't stop there, because monetization works the same way. Advertisers don't pay for random attention, they pay for meaningful attention. Attention that connects to intent. So, if your content attracts people who are just scrolling, your video might get views, but not value. And if your content attracts people who are actually interested, Now everything changes. This is the invisible layer. The layer most creators never think about. They are focused on how do I get more clicks instead of asking what kind of viewer is clicking. And that one shift changes everything because once you understand that, you stop chasing numbers and start understanding behavior. So let's break down what actually separates those two channels because the difference is not obvious but it is powerful. The first difference is content positioning. Channel A creates content that is easy to consume, general, broad, and accessible, but not necessarily important. While Channel B creates content that feels specific, targeted, focused, and relevant. And that changes everything. Because when a video feels relevant, the viewer leans in. They don't just watch, they engage. Now, here is the second difference. Audience awareness. Channel A is trying to reach everyone, which sounds smart, right? But weakens the message. But when you speak to everyone, you connect with no one deeply. While Channel B is speaking to a specific type of viewer, and because of that, the message lands harder. It feels clearer, more direct, more intentional. Now, this is where it gets interesting. The third difference is value perception. This is subtle, but extremely powerful. If your content feels like general information, it gets treated like general content, watched quickly, forgotten quickly. But if your content feels like insight, it's all to wait. People slow down, they listen, they stay longer, and they come back. Let me say this clearly. Attention is easy to get, trust is harder, and trust is what compounds. So, while both channels may look similar on the surface, one is building attention, the other is building trust. And over time, trust wins. Trust wins every time. So, how do you actually apply this? Because this is where most people stop. They understand the idea, but don't change their approach. Let's make this simple. Stop focusing only on views. Start focusing on viewer quality. Ask yourself, what is this video for? And more importantly, why would they care? Because when your content aligns with a clear type of viewer, everything becomes easier. Your title becomes sharper, your message becomes clearer, and your retention improves naturally. Now, here is the shift that matters most. Stop asking, how do I grow faster? Start asking, what kind of audience am I attracting? Because growth is not just about reaching more people, it is about reaching the right people. And when you do that, you don't just grow. You build something that lasts, something that compounds, something that actually works. Let me leave you with this. Two channels can grow at the same speed, but only one builds real value. And that difference is not luck, it is understanding. Understanding how YouTube actually works, understanding how viewers behave, and using that to your advantage. So, if you want to build a channel that doesn't just get views, but actually grows with intention and ends at a higher level, subscribe to King Kennel AI because on this channel we don't follow surface level advice. We break down what is really happening behind successful content. And in the next video, I am going to show you something most creators completely miss. Why some videos get pushed immediately, why others disappear without a trace. And if this video gave you clarity, leave a like and tell me in the comments what kind of audience are you trying to build? Because once you answer that, everything changes. I will see you in the next one. Bye.